Gerwig gave us a list of 33 movies that directly inspired her when making the Barbie movie. In looking through these 33 movies, you'll notice there's a particular genre that comes up repeatedly: soundstage musicals. Film adaptations of Broadway musicals, such as Oklahoma, Singin' in the Rain, Wizard of Oz, and all that jazz. I'm gonna rouge my knees and burn my style. Gerwig even mentions that the I'm Just Ken scene was directly inspired by a ballet scene in Singin' in the Rain, where we're taken into a dream sequence and then even deeper into a second dream sequence within the first one, where the male dancer is essentially so captivated by the female dancer and everything else drifts away and he's powerless to do anything but be tangled up in her female wiles. The inner thoughts of the characters are frequently depicted as tangential soliloquies, not serving to actually further the plot, but instead to give us a glimpse into the character's emotional state. Of course, the I'm Just Ken scene, where we intermittently cut away from what's quote-unquote really happening on the beach to a giant formless environment with no furniture and no backgrounds and nothing to distract you from the pure emotion of the character. I'm Just Ken.
I'm just Ken, and I'm enough, and I'm great at doing stuff.
This song is the one that we all keep coming back to. The song that we can't stop singing, the song that ultimately brings the Kens to the realization that fighting amongst themselves isn't the answer. As catchy as the music is, and as fun as the visuals are, I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about it, even amongst two of my most favorite people in the entire world.
This 9.5-minute Ken number.
Mama. But then it turned into the Twyla Tharp, Lucinda Childs, like Busby
I didn't
Berkeley.
like that either.
You didn't
At all.
Oh, ouch. You didn't like that
At all.
Oh, I lived for that. When it became like
When it
wide
became
charts
Grease?
and formations.
No.
You didn't.
Not at all.
Okay.
And sure, this particular song may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I think at the very least, it's important to understand the reasoning behind it, especially within the context of the soundstage musical that the film, and this scene in particular, is based off of. When people say that they don't like musicals because they can't get past the fact that people randomly burst into song and dance, that's a valid criticism.
Oh,
I hate musicals. I hate it.
You hate musicals.
There I go. I'm walking over the side of the stage to get some baguette. Oh, God, just say it. Just say it.
Musical theater is a medium that doesn't translate to everybody because not everybody can suspend their disbelief in that way. But if you begin to look at musical theater as its own unique language in and of itself, rather than comparing it to the more realistic forms of storytelling, the reasoning behind the song and dance numbers become at least a little bit clearer. There's a classic proverb amongst musical theater folks: when the emotion becomes too strong for speech, you sing. When it becomes too strong for song, you dance. So, when characters in a musical begin to sing, it's not because singing is a realistic option for a normal human being to do in that situation. It's because, within the language of musical theater, song is inherently a stronger, more intense show of emotion than regular speech. And when even singing isn't enough to convey the emotion, the entire body is taken over to convey the emotion through dance. If the characters had already been bursting into song the entire movie, the Ken song wouldn't seem so out of place. But because this scene is so unlike any that came before it, those that aren't familiar with musical theater might find themselves confused. When a body of work, whether it be film or a stage musical, uses a moment of dance without dialogue to convey symbolism, foreshadowing, or psychological subtext, it's referred to as a dream ballet. And if you can't find your young daughter on Christmas morning and it causes you to break into dance, it's known as a dream ballet Ramsey. Don't use that. Anywho, although I'm Just Ken technically qualifies more as a dance break than a true dream ballet, being that it's sandwiched between lyrics, the intention and overall effect are the same. This scene is so integral to the Kens' character arc, as it begins with the Kens fighting amongst themselves, cultivates to a silent dance break where we see their feud come to a final confrontation, and then ultimately breaking out of their proverbial barriers, setting aside their differences to help pick one another up, and joining hands in solidarity. To quote the Los Angeles Times article by Ashley Lee, where she also describes this scene as a dream ballet, the song is an empathetic acknowledgement of the pressures put on men to literally perform their masculinity often to toxic lengths. After urgently spinning in symmetrical formations to full-on 80s synth pop, Gosling's Ken is revealed anew. He again sings the chorus, but this time he's standing tall, staring directly into the camera with a knowing smile. He helps his fellow Kens up from the floor and giggles after they kiss him on the cheek in gratitude. He is no longer threatened by other men or the expression of affection among them.
I'm a liberated man. I know crying's not weak.
Okay.
So, to all of us looking at the movie as though it's just a normal movie and not a piece of musical theater, this moment of diverting completely away from the other characters and plot seems unusual and even superfluous. But if you allow yourself to look deeper into the intention of the scene and the medium which it has chosen to convey these intentions, the true nature becomes clear. It's not just a catchy tune we all find ourselves humming while we're doing the dishes. I'm speaking from experience here. It is a seamless blending of music, color, choreography, and humor that communicates its message of shedding harmful societal ideologies in a way unlike anything modern audiences have likely ever seen before.